haven't even been on the big board in a little bit. I wanted to make this video to kind of help you out, to help you understand why people might react to things that you tell them, or that maybe you're giving advice, or you're trying to make one of your friends, or you're trying to make one of your friends' life better, or maybe you're trying to sell someone a product or service for your business, and you're like, hey, this will be good for you, and it just seems that they just resist it. This was something that for me in my life, because of my personality, I would automatically be able to subconsciously understand what I'm about to teach you right now. And it made me be able to maneuver through life a lot easier. It helped me become successful in business because of my personality. But I understand that most people don't have the same personality as mine. People would say that I'm easygoing, that I don't let things, affect me. It just rolls right off of my shoulder. But once I understood completely what was actually going on consciously between conversations, if I was to say something to someone and the way that they reacted, even if it wasn't good for them, I really started to understand how we work as humans. And this will actually help you too, because now I'm going to help you learn something that when you consciously know what I'm about to teach you, it will help you move through life on a different level than everybody else. It'll help you on a personal level, help you on a financial level. It'll just help you across the board. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw on the board here. I'm going to put this here. This is information. So that's going to be information that you're going to tell somebody, or somebody's going to tell you. And then I'm going to make a person here, my little stick figure person with a smile. And then this is going to be you right here with a smile on your face. This person, and for the purposes of this video, it could be anything that you want to think about. It doesn't have to be about business. It doesn't have to be about personal. But we'll just say for business. This individual here is gonna tell you, or we just say they're gonna give you some information that they believe is gonna help make your life a lot better. So this person is gonna give you the information. That information is gonna go to you, and then you're gonna go back with that information and back to this person with resistance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this through again, and I want you to kind of imagine what could potentially be happening during this conversation between these two individuals. So the individual number one is going to give this person information that can make their life better. The information is received by person number two, and then it goes back, and that information is resisted by person number two. And then it goes back to person number one, and person number one goes back and says, well, this is good for you. It will help you. It's helped me. It'll make you a better person. And then it goes back, and then this person resists. And so what do you believe is going on in person number two's mind that would make them resist information? Information that person number one knows for a fact that it can benefit person number two. As a matter of fact, let's go even a level deeper and say person number one got information from person number two on something that they wanted to make their life better. And they asked them questions, and then person number one gave them the information to make their lives better, but still person number two said, I don't want to do it. They resist. They bring up this, whatever they might say, but they're just resisting. They just don't want to do it. What do you think is going on in this conversation? What is the dynamics? What is the unsaid thing that is happening? Well, the unsaid thing that is happening is that this information is seen differently by both individuals. When I I subconsciously understood this because of my personality. I subconsciously understood this. But now, years ago, I consciously understood the dynamics of what is actually happening. So this is what I want you to think about. When information is given to person number 2 here, what I want you to imagine is that this is the person number 2's mind. And in their mind, they have these little icons. Have you ever, on the computer, like imagine their mind is like a computer screen. And it has all these icons on it. All these icons. And when information comes in, it sorts. This is stuff that happens quickly, like in seconds, not even seconds, like milliseconds. Instantly. Because we grew up and I'm going to go into more detail about it in this video, but as we grow up, all of this stuff starts to happen at a faster pace because we've internalized exactly what is making us resist right here. So it has nothing to do with words. Has nothing to do with words. Has everything to do with the feeling that individual gets. And when that person gets that feeling, they automatically resist. They automatically resist. But I'm going to share with you how that starts to happen with all of us on the inside and the reasons why it happens. So when person number 2 gets that information, instantly, it goes to like a computer. This is what I want you to visualize, a computer screen. And on that computer screen, it has all these icons on it. And from that information, it instantly finds the icon that most matches the information that is being fed to this individual. And once that icon is identified instantly in that person's mind, it opens up all of these other files about what they think about the information that is being fed to them. So depending on their environment, identity, how they identify themselves, their beliefs, their spiritual beliefs, their universal beliefs, they're going to react a certain way. So even if the information is good for them, they're going to still react a certain way based off of what's on that computer icon. When that screen blows up, it's going to give them a feeling, and that feeling is going to make them automatically resist. It's going to make them resist. So now you might be saying, well, Steve, where does this come from? Why would a person who is receiving information that will help them do exactly what they want to have done, why would they resist it? Why would they resist it? We go down to a deeper level. A deeper level. Where did all of this stuff come from? So this is the easy route to it. So it comes to person number 2. Computer screen opens up. The icon that matches the information that is coming in closely matches. It doesn't have to be the same thing. It doesn't have to be in any order or nothing. All it is it's just going to make a match. It makes a match. It blows up all the files that are in this individual's mind about that information, about what they've experienced with this type of information in the past. It doesn't even have to be right. It doesn't have to be wrong. It can be neutral. That doesn't matter. What matters is it's going to pull up all of those files, and based off of what's right here, they are going to resist, or they're going to, not resist. But where is this stuff built? This stuff here is built from our family, our friends, our teachers, religious counselors or mentors, all the people that we came into contact in our lives. That is built. That is what is built. And so this is, you could just say, people, experiences, Everything that we went through growing up is put into this little bitty pocket. And then those pockets are translated into feelings. So now you might, so this is the thing that when I understood this completely, is that there is no language here. That's why people will say, well, you don't understand what I'm saying. The reason why I don't understand what you're saying is because you don't understand what they're feeling. And it's going to be hard to understand what somebody is feeling unless you know all of this stuff about that person. That's going to be basically almost impossible. You can ask those questions. You can, if you're a counselor or you're a hypnotherapist, you can get to that. But when you're in day to day going back and forth with people, you're not going to be able to have time to do that. So you're going to need to understand why that person is resisting. And all of that is first accumulated here as we grow up, as we go through life, as we experience things. And it does not have to be in order. It's just all grouped here, and then it's translated into a language that everybody understands. Feeling. Have you ever said, it doesn't make me feel good? You resist. You resist not because of the words the person is saying. You resist because of the feelings that information brought up inside of you. When, think about it this way. Have you ever heard, see, that those feelings is a voice. And you can not say anything and say something with the way your body expresses. So let's just run through some of the feelings that people can have that are actually talking to other people. So if I'm going around like this, looking like this, am I talking? You understand exactly how I feel by the way that my body is being expressed. What if I go around like this? What if I'm like, you understand how I feel at that point without me saying anything? What if I'm like, hey, yeah, right there. What, I don't even have to say anything. I can just be doing this. You understand what I feel? If I'm like this, like this, what do you think? How do you think I feel? If I grab my arm, like, how do you think I feel? So this is language. This is what's built inside of us. All of that, experiences of pain, good feelings with our family, friends, people we've came into contact with, things that we've done, all of that becomes a feeling. And when information is given to us and it opens up that icon that is most similar, based off of the feelings that we have, is going to be mostly based off of if we're going to accept something or if we're going to reject something. If we're going to accept something or we're going to reject something. So now for you, let's talk about this on day-to-day communications with individuals so you can make your life a lot easier, like I was able to make my life a lot easier. If you understand this completely, when you're giving someone information and they start to resist, what would you think would be the thing that you would need to talk about with that individual to get them to really consider and do the thing that you want them to do, which is good information, good advice to help them improve their life? Because maybe they came to you and you said, hey, can you give me some advice? And you give them advice, they resist. So what would you have to do to get them to stop resisting? What most people do is they just keep focusing on telling them the information. You should do this. It's going to help you with this. It's going to help you with that. All of this. And that works with some people, but it really doesn't work. You'll see that might build someone up, hype them up with the willpower and all of that. And then all of a sudden, a day later or a week later or whatever, they're just right back to normal. They're, back to where they were. So what would be the thing that you should focus on to get that individual to accept that information that you gave them? And you truly, first thing is that you got to truly believe that information that you're going to give them can really work for them. And the way that you know that it can really work for them is that it's really worked for you. Don't give people information that you don't believe deeply inside that can't work for them. And hopefully the information has worked for you. Depending on what industry you're in, it might be, you might have to, you maybe don't experience certain things that you're going to be helping people experience. But for me in business, I know that my specialty is lead generation and helping people turn leads into sales and to have leads know, like, and trust people. And so I understand that I had to do it for my businesses, and I wouldn't tell people to do it for their business without me experiencing that myself. So what would you focus on? What would you focus on? Most people focus on the information. They just keep telling them the information. That's like trying to talk someone into something. What you should do is you need to focus on the resistance. You need to focus on it by asking them questions on, well, why do you feel that way? Why? Because it's all about the feeling. It's all about the feeling. So you would tell them, why do you have that feeling about that? What is making you have that feeling? And then they might tell you, well, what happened with this here? That's why I had that feeling. Maybe they don't even fully understand it, but they'll express it in a certain way. They'll be like, well, I have that feeling because this happened with me with doing something else. And you'll be like, that doesn't even make any sense. But I told you earlier it doesn't make any sense because all they're doing is trying to sort for something that is similar. So they're actually really, in a way, not turning you down. They're just not doing it because they don't feel good about doing what you said to do. And they don't feel good about it because they sorted from their computer. They clicked that icon. It opened up all those feelings and it was similar. So what you have to do is you focus on the resistance, and you would just tell them something simple. Like, what if they say, well, I don't want to do that because this is what happened the last time with this individual. So you would tell them, well, number one, I'm not that individual. And last time is what happened last time. Let me get you the information so you could see that what I'm giving you is different from what was done the last time. Because what they'll usually do is just lump it all together and be like, well, this person was showing me something that's similar to you. And because it was similar to what you're showing and the experience that I had with this person that was similar to what you were showing, it has to be similar. So I'm going to have the same outcome, which is going to give me the same feeling. I don't want to have that feeling again, so I'm going to resist it. So if you made it clear to them, I'm not that person that you dealt with. This is the information, and I'm going to clearly explain to you exactly what this information is all about. And if you want to not have that feeling again, then you need to clearly understand the information that I'm going to give you. And you're like, in a way, you're letting them know that they're basically, without saying it, you're basically letting them know that they're actually making their decision based on something that happened in the past that has nothing to do with what you're telling them right now in the present. That's why we'll say things like people live in the past. Like they live in the past. All they're doing is they're bringing old experiences and putting them on top of new things, but it's the same thing. Like they're actually sorting. What they're actually doing. This is what one of the things that they're actually doing is that they're receiving the information. They're trying to lower their level of potentially being disappointed. So what they're doing is they're getting the information. They're going to their computer. The icons are opening up with all of the feelings. The feelings are here. This here is embedded. So this here, that stuff is deeply embedded. That's that voice. That voice starts to talk, and those feelings start to come up. But what they're actually doing is they're resisting, and they're actually telling themselves a way to let themselves down without going through too much pain. So they know that the information is good for them, but the information brought up a feeling, and those feelings, they don't want to go through those feelings anymore. So they're actually resisting as a way to lower their own expectations. It's actually a way for them. This is the way for them. If you want to just say, what would all of this, if they got good information that they know would be good for them, that could help them, but they're putting old information on top of it to continue resisting, what it really comes down is they don't believe they deserve it. That's what the silent voice is actually saying this. It's saying it. It's so silent. This is, have you ever heard a dog whistle? They say a dog whistle is loud and the dog, like you blow it, you can't even hear it, but the dog is like, God dang, who the hell blowing this goddamn whistle? That's what's going on in the person's mind. It's like a dog whistle, like loud. It's so loud that it's silent. It's so loud that it's silent, and it's like just beat, boom. You don't deserve it. It's not that you don't deserve it. What it's saying is that you don't want to go through these feelings again. That's what it's actually saying. It's like, I'm going to do it like this, like a record. You don't want to go through this. You don't want to go through this. You don't want to go through this. And then the person resists. And why? The silent voice. You don't deserve it. I don't deserve it. I don't deserve it. And then you reinforce these icons. You reinforce them. And these are other experiences that could be similar, but you reinforce exactly what you got right here. You reinforce it. So we already know this was how the person over here would understand how to deal with this. But now, how does the person over here, this is where you might be. How does the person over here start to change this stuff? How does the person, because if you're going to constantly have that silent voice from the stuff that you learned in life, from people that you respected, experiences, your environment, all of that stuff, and then that silent voice say you don't deserve it, you have these feelings, and then it's in this icon that makes it so simple for you to resist. How can you change this? How are you able to reverse engineer all of this? The number one way to do it is you have to change how you feel with your body. You have to manipulate, for lack of a better word, you have to manipulate how you feel. I've told this story before. I'm in a bank building. This is a building that I purchased from a bank. And before I bought this bank, there was a few things that had to happen. These things had to go right. Number one, the bank wanted to sell the building for $450,000 more than what I wanted to pay for it. So think about this. The bank has money. They don't need money. They have this location. Yeah, they want to sell the location, but the location, they had this bank location for, I think, like 20 years. So they don't, what is it to them? It was paid off. All they had to do is pay the taxes. That's a write-off for them. So so $650,000, it would take, $450,000, it would take a lot of years to equal $450,000, which was the discount that I wanted on buying the building. So that's number one. How did I get myself into the mindset? Because you bring up feelings of disappointment to where you won't even do anything. Like you can be disappointed. You don't want to experience disappointment of being turned down, so you don't even do it. So you resist even going through the process. But what I did is I didn't resist going through the process. First thing I did is I started thinking in my mind that this building was mine. Before it was mine. Before they agreed to anything. How did I do that? When I drove to work, I came and from my other office, but instead of going directly to my other office building, I drove to this office building and I came like I was going to work here. This was my office. That was my body already becoming invested. Remember, I said the feelings is going to be the whole thing. The feelings is going to be the whole thing. Feeling is going to bring everything to you, because if you start, tell me I'm wrong. If you start to feel good, you're able to accomplish a lot more things if you feel good about yourself. Remember when I was saying that when I was like stomach hurt or arm, or I was like this, raising the arm or like clapping my hands. All of those different feelings get your body moving in the right direction. So when my body got moving in the right direction, my mind got moving in the right direction. And when my wife and I made the offer to buy the building, we made the offer to buy the building like, you're going to accept this bill. Like it was totally different than, have you ever asked someone something and you kind of knew that they were going to say no? When we made our offer, we had in our mind that they were going to say yes. That's the difference. How did we get to that point? Well, we changed our body feeling. And what I did is I was driving here like it was already mine before. They ended up accepting our offer, and they wanted $650,000. We bought it for $202,000. They accepted our offer. So that was how I got my body going in the right direction. I got my mind going in the right direction off of how my body was feeling. And when we made the offer was made in a sense like, you're going to accept this offer. Now think about it. They had the bank president or whoever made the decision, they don't own the building, so it doesn't cost that individual anything to keep the building. They just keep it on the books for the bank. It has to go to committee, so it's not just one individual that can make the decision. The committee has to make the decision. So my body and thinking process, universally, this is the way I explain it, universally got each of those individuals that were on the board to say yes, and got that individual to sign off for $202,000, and the building was ours. So what I want you to do for your homework, I want you to comment below this video. I want you to watch this video over and over and over, because this is something that is probably new to you. Other people do not even explain it this way. A lot of people, they say stuff, they explain stuff, but they've never really experienced it. Something about my training is I'm a certified hypnotherapist, and that was where a lot of the stuff consciously, I became aware of this stuff consciously, because it was like, oh, I think this way, I react this way, and it was like, well, this is the reason why you think this way. This is the reason why you act this way. It wasn't something that you just came up with. It was what was put into you. It was this right here. You got the computer, got the feelings, and you got the people, the experiences, religion, all that stuff stacked on top of it, and that's where all of that came from. So thank you for your time. Please like, share this video. This is Stephen A. Williams with Making Money with Stephen A. Williams here on YouTube.